Welcome back to What's the Difference Season 2. Did you get a chance to watch Season 1? Did you get a chance to watch all the other episodes to Season 2? You haven't? Well, maybe you should pause this and give it a watch. If not, you can click on the card above. It'll take you to the playlist. What's the Difference is a series dedicated to, well, just that. Showing you guys the differences between some of the things in airsoft, the hobby that we love so much, and what makes them tick. And, well, to answer myself and repeat myself, what's the difference? You know us here at LayLax, we make the best inner barrels in the world. And with that said, what are some of the difference between even our own inner barrels? Some people out there who are familiar with airsoft, and of course our brand, know our barrels come in two different flavors. We have our tight bore EG barrels and our power barrels. Now, what's the difference? On the surface, shouldn't your tight bore barrel also give you more power? And if that's the case, why you need a power barrel? Like, isn't that just confusing for the sake of being confusing? Well, little did you know that there actually is a difference between this and this, outside of the fact that, well, they're designed for two different guns. This one is a tight bore barrel. This one is a power barrel. And we're going to discuss what are the differences between these two things. The tight bore barrel comes in a bore size of 6.03 millimeters. This is tighter than a lot of traditional barrels that come stock with your airsoft gun. Sometimes they come in 6.05 or even higher than that. The 6.03 tight bore shrinks the overall barrel size to just barely let your BB fly through one of these things. What that does is it does give a general increase to accuracy, consistency, as well as FPS. Now, 6.03 as a tight bore is something that we firmly stand by as a product that we think is very suitable for almost anyone and everyone out there. Why is it 6.03? Is because a lot of BBs are, say they're 6 millimeter, but when they make hundreds of millions of these things, there's gonna be a few out there that is off spec. So making sure that it's a 6.03 tight bore, it gives you the tight boreness of a barrel as such, while at the same time being able to facilitate pretty much all, if not most all, of the BBs on the market. Now that we know about tight bores, well, what's the point of having a power barrel then? Power barrels, ours, come in the bore size of 6.00 millimeters. That is just almost flush with the BB itself. And when you design a barrel like that, the first thing you need to take into consideration is the internal polishing and how well these things are made. The reason why is when it sits so flush, it's really down to the quality of BBs that you use. Because if you use cheap BBs, you're gonna have a hard time because they're gonna jam. And when they jam, you're not gonna have a good time. Now, what makes our power barrels reliable, given the fact that they're 6.00 and you're gonna have to use high quality BBs? Now, the great thing about our inner barrels is that the inside of the inner barrel is blasted with an organic media. What that does compared to synthetic media is it strips less of the material away. Also, it provides a slick surface for BBs to fly down, all the while holding air as tight as possible. So what's the difference between a power barrel and a tight bore barrel? Well, the power barrel is exactly that. Because it is that much tighter than a tight bore barrel, this is going to automatically increase your power because it's able to hold more air behind the BB as it travels down to then go out the front. Thus why it's called a power barrel. However, a little bit of a downside is you're going to have to make sure you purchase premium match grade BBs and make sure that they all run through. So that way, you don't get the problem with a jamming up. And if this is something that's a little too much for you and you don't want to be bothered for this and you just want something that's an instant upgrade, then this is the one for you, the 6.03 tight bore. Yes, there's more than meets the eye to these, well, metal straw looking things. So that was the difference between our own inner barrels. Hope you guys learned something, and if you haven't, don't forget to check out the episode where Ryan Sensei deep dives into the inner barrels to give you guys a little bit more explanation as to what makes our inner barrel special and how different inner barrels, well, differ from each other. Kind of like a mini what's the difference? Now I've left a link in the description below for our website all about inner barrels. You can go click on it, check it out, read up on it. There's also a plethora of information out there on YouTube that talks about our inner barrels as well. Check those out as well. I'm pretty sure you'll learn something. Now, hope you enjoyed season 2 of What's the Difference. We got so much more planned for you guys going into 2023. Stay tuned, and I'm so glad that this was our kickoff season to launch off our new 2023 content.
ご視聴ありがとうございます。新商品やパーツ組み込み動画はこちら。
And if you guys are looking for cool gameplay and entertainment content, don't forget to check out our international channel right here. Don't forget to subscribe. Yay!